Welcome. So this practice material will be literary and jury charge, kind of a mix of both. And we'll start out with this jury charge. Okay, this is a short jury charge. Here we go. Evidence presented in this manner is done through what is called testimony. Testimony consists of the words of the witness taken down while the witness is under oath. In addition to testimony as a means of offering evidence to the court, the attorneys may have any number of different types of exhibits to use as proof of their positions. Both sides have a right to introduce as many exhibits as they have that will support their sides. When testimony is entered into evidence by the plaintiff, that evidence is numbered and referred to as People's Exhibit, followed by a number. The exhibits entered into evidence by the opposing side are referred to as defense exhibit, often followed by a letter. During the trial, the witnesses will be called, starting with the witnesses for the state. The state is putting on the case, so the state must prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. The state first presents one of its witnesses and questions the witness under oath. It is up to the state to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. After the state is finished questioning the witness, the other side is given an opportunity to examine the same witness. Okay, now let's try a bit of literary material. go. Almost everyone knows something about George Herman Ruth. You probably know him as Babe. That was his nickname. Babe played for the New York Yankees. He hit hundreds of home runs. Most people think he was baseball's greatest player. But do you know the best thing about Babe Ruth? He saved baseball. He did. Here's how it happened. The story starts off in 1914, Babe's first year in the major leagues. Baseball was America's favorite sport. Fans read about games in newspapers. Kids collected cards of their favorite players, and people filled ballparks to cheer on their favorite teams. Baseball was Babe's favorite sport too. Believe it or not, Babe wasn't always a Yankee. Babe played for the Boston Red Sox. In those days, Babe was a pitcher, not a hitter. Babe threw fast. Babe threw strikes. And he almost always won. Pitchers don't play every day, so pitchers don't hit that often. But Babe practiced hitting. He loved to swing the bat. He loved to hit the ball. And boy, could Babe hit. In 1915, Babe hit his first home run. It was against the New York Yankees. He hit it hard. He hit it high. And he hit it far. Fans cheered. They had never seen a home run quite like it. People began to wonder, why isn't Babe a hitter? Babe, get ready to bat more, said Babe's coach. Babe still had to pitch in some games. but now he got to play every day. In 1919, Babe hit the most home runs ever, 29. In every city he played in, people kept track of Babe's home runs. Babe kept track too by carving notches in his bat. And Babe hit at least one home run in every city he visited. Okay, let's try a little bit more jury charge practice. This is another short jury charge. Here we go. When the police arrive at the scene of a reported homicide, they will first try to determine whether that homicide was a murder or whether it was a type of crime called manslaughter. There is a difference in whether the crime is murder or whether it is manslaughter. It is important that it be determined whether the crime is murder or not. If there is a body, it must be determined whether that body was killed on purpose in the heat of passion or killed accidentally. It is not always easy to determine. The two crimes are different. Once there is a killing of an individual, it must be determined whether the killing was done on purpose or whether it was done accidentally. If a killing is done on purpose, then it must be determined whether there was any prior planning of the killing. The key is whether there was any planning involved. It will be up to witnesses in the trial to present evidence to the jury. All right, a little more jury charge practice. This one's longer, and we actually may not be able to finish it, but we'll get it started. Here we go. Members of the jury, that is the evidence you will hear in this case, so you should have at your chairs, your seats, copies of the final jury instructions. I am going to read those as I did with the preliminary instructions, and you may read along with me or not as you choose to do then. It is your duty as a juror to decide this case by applying these jury instructions to the facts as you determine them. You must follow these jury instructions. They are the rules you should use to decide this case. It is your duty to determine what the facts are in the case by determining what actually happened. Determine the facts only from the evidence produced in court. When I say evidence, I mean the testimony of witnesses and the exhibits introduced into court. You should not guess about any fact. You must not be influenced by sympathy or prejudice. You must not be concerned with any opinion you feel I have about the facts. You, as jurors, are the sole judges of what happened. You must consider all these instructions. Do not pick out one instruction or part of one and ignore the others. As you determine the facts, however, you may find that some instructions no longer apply. You must then consider the instructions that do apply together with the facts as you have determined them. All right, that concludes our practice for today.